US President Donald Trump says Iran cannot be allowed nuclear weapons and claims US led strikes destroyed its nuclear capability. He says up to 90% of missile facilities were wiped out, leaving Iran in a weakened state. US President Donald Trump says Iran's leadership is weakened and claims sanctions and blockades have crippled its oil revenues. He predicts oil prices will fall after operations and asserts the US remains ahead of China.
In every case, the people, the prime ministers or presidents wrote letters thanking me. In the case of India, look, the biggest one would have been Pakistan, India. The prime minister of Pakistan said, I saved from 30 to 50 million lives, but it could have been more than that. Two nuclear nations were going at it. 11 airplanes were shot down. They were in the first week of what would have been a very bad war, and I got it solved. You know how I got it solved? By the use of tariffs. I said, I'm going to charge you tariffs if you guys keep fighting, and they said, okay.
US President Donald Trump praises Pakistan and claims 11 aircraft were shot down in Pakistan-India conflict. He cites Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif saying he helped stop the war and saved millions of lives. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says decisions under President Donald Trump are based on merit. He denies discrimination claims and outlines strategic priorities, including missile defense and operations targeting Iran. Iran warns it will respond immediately if US forces advance, as IRGC and officials signal unity and retaliation. Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf says measures aim to weaken Iran but insists energy infrastructure remains intact. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian condemns the US naval blockade as intolerable, calling it a continuation of military pressure on Iran. He warns the move risks escalating tensions further as diplomatic efforts remain stalled. Pakistan maintains diplomatic outreach with the US and Iran, calling for dialogue to address regional conflicts. Foreign Office spokesperson Tahir Hussain Andrabi also condemns cross-border firing from Afghanistan. Pakistan raises fuel prices as petrol increases by Rs 6.51 and high-speed diesel by Rs 19.39 per litre. The hike takes immediate effect, adding pressure on transport costs and inflation. Russia's President Vladimir Putin warns US President Donald Trump that failure of a ceasefire with Iran could have extremely serious consequences, rejecting any ground operation and urging restraint. Ukrainian forces strike oil refinery in Russia's Orenburg region, triggering major fire at Orsk facility. Kyiv says sites fueled Russian military, marking expansion of long-range campaign targeting energy infrastructure. International Atomic Energy Agency says much of Iran's enriched uranium may be in Isfahan, with further inspections needed at Natanz and Fordo. Officials estimate Iran holds about 440 kg enriched to 60%, with possible transfer options under discussion. Israel intercepts a Gaza-bound flotilla in international waters near Greece, detaining around 175 activists. Organizers say vessels were surrounded, communications jammed, and participants forced to surrender during the operation. Spain Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemns Israel over interception of Gaza-bound aid vessels, calls it breach of international law. He urges European Union to suspend ties with Israel and seeks protection and release of Spanish national on board. Iran condemns Israeli interception of Gaza aid flotilla, calls it piracy and demands release of detained activists. Foreign Ministry urges global action, warning silence risks worsening humanitarian crisis and escalating maritime tensions. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says US dues are mandatory and not negotiable, rejecting reports Washington links payments to reforms. The US owes over $4 billion despite partial payments. Convicted U.S. scientist Charles Lieber resurfaces in China, leading advanced brain interface research in Shenzhen. His work raises concerns over technology transfer, military use and gaps in U.S. safeguards amid growing competition.
Israeli representative is not a qualified partner to shake hands with him. You know, he is defending Netanyahu and his government, which I think is isolated, and I think the whole world now believe that we are victims and the Israeli government should be sanctioned.
Palestinian Football Association President Jibril Rajoub refuses handshake with Israeli Football Association Vice President at FIFA Congress. He cites Gaza war and accuses Israel of using football to whitewash actions as tensions surface on global stage. Marta Kostyuk beats Anastasia Potapova in 3 sets to reach Madrid Open final. She advances to her first WTA 1000 final and will face Mira Andreeva after a dominant deciding set. And Sony unveils first look at Resident Evil with Zack Cregger steering a darker reboot. Austin Abrams stars as a career fighting to survive as the film brings slow burn horror to cinemas on September 18th.